after 2021, I then trained for another 3 years, trained really, really hard, and managed to come back from Paris with this beautiful gold medal and 2 world records. And
this video today is going to take a slightly different look at retinitis pigmentosa. Now, having RP has a lot of downsides, and the disease takes a lot away from people, but it's very common for people to focus on what the disease takes away rather than looking at what it gives back. So I thought I would recruit some of my RP friends to join me in telling you actually there are some real benefits to having RP.
The positive thing that I can take from RP and what it has given me and shown me is, one, a community that I'm definitely not alone, that even though I have vision loss, or even though I have a sight loss journey, I still have a lot of beautiful insight. It provides other opportunities that I never thought that I would have having this.
Right, so the one thing that RP has given me over and above everything is, I thought it was courage, but it's not, it's gratitude. So I think that I kind of understood the principle and the definition of gratitude logically, but then to feel it in your mind, body and soul daily is something entirely different. It's like a whole different paradigm of gratitude. So for me, it's like good days, bad days, like RP is a marathon, it's not a short sprint, is it? It's like a marathon.
yeah, so that one positive thing that RP has given me is, I was diagnosed from a very young age, at the age of 6. And at that point, my parents told me that, the doctors told my parents that I would possibly go blind in my mid-20s. So I grew up knowing all of this. And from that young age, you don't really comprehend what that really means. But as I grew a bit older, it kind of sunk in a little bit more. But instead of shying away, it actually made me go out and get what I want. So it made me realize that, if I want to see the world, if I want to do all the things that I want to do, I have to do them quite young. And so really, RP acted like a catalyst to make sure that I do the things that I want to do before my eyesight deteriorated to the point where I couldn't do them.
So for me, it was somewhere around Christmas 2020. I was just sitting at home randomly searching retinitis pigmentosa into Instagram, and I found these 2 guys doing like a podcast or show called the RP Show. And from there, it's just like I've learned to build connections with people, using other social media platforms through Facebook, and we've got WhatsApp groups and Facebook messaging groups, and it's just a nice way of connecting with other people. Because before that, it was only my granddad and my mum and myself that I knew had RP, so I hadn't really had other people to interact with and sort of learn from where they are and all the positive things that they can still do and stuff.
I think one of the positive things retinitis pigmentosa has given me is to keep me motivated and inspired to compose and make music with my alternative rock band called Retinitis, and try to express myself and express certain feelings that probably would be very difficult to express with words. And of course, most of the time, the lyrics of my song doesn't have a literal meaning, but instead they are trying to bring some images that those feelings generate in me, and like fears, anxiety, excitement.
What I'll talk about today is the positivities in having a sort of sight impairment or a eye condition. Okay, so often we look at kind of the things we can't do, look at the things that potentially are have a sort of a negative impact on our lives, but there is a lot of positivities that we can take from this. So for me, it's really kind of taught me the ability to be adaptable, not just to the situation that I have, but also other situations in life as well.
It provides more of a meaning in life to help something bigger than me, and I feel like we're doing something in the world in a different light that the world really needed, and if we were all the same, it'd be boring.
I actually I made the decision to go traveling around the world. And I spent 4.5 years traveling around the world. I met my now wife in that time. And when I came back from all my travels, I realized that parasport was there waiting for me. And I never knew that this was possible because I didn't realize how much my eyesight had deteriorated. And I managed to come back from traveling, find out that parasport was there, and I started throwing the javelin again, because I'd been throwing the javelin as an able-bodied athlete throughout my teens. And so I came back, I was 29 years of age, and I was going into javelin throwing again, and it just escalated, and I started training more and more. And then in 2021 I went to my first Paralympic Games and won a gold medal, which was phenomenal. It totally changed my world, and parasport gave me so much more. It gave me so much more confidence. It gave me confidence to actually talk to other people about my condition and about how it enlightened my life.
That's for me, it's been something that I've been able to sort of view what other people are still able to do further along in the condition than I am as well. So it gives you more of encouragement.
And if we put our different walks of life together, we'll become a collective consciousness. So it just brought, it made me figure out who I am. Even though I was a singer, I did not know who I am. But being a light worker as well, negatives and positives, it definitely made me become more happy with who I am, and it made me a better person.
We run this kind of race every day, good days, bad days. Sometimes my eyes feel like, oh my God, I can drive. And the next day, or even the next hour, I'm like, oh my God, I cannot see across the road. So it's like this, it's riding this roller coaster that is RP. But I do find every day just to be grateful for the sight that I have. I have 5 degrees of sight, but that is enough to get around. I cannot imagine what it was like to have had the sight that I had 10 years ago, because I can't remember.
And it's also enabled me to really focus on having a lot more kind of resilience. So the ability to handle and deal with hard times, hardships, setbacks, obstacles that we currently face, obviously face throughout life as well.
It just provided so much of it provided so much faith. Walk by faith and not by sight. It provided so much trust into God and the universe, into my intuition. It provides I started gaining all these different type of abilities with a disability. And I started seeing how important it was when people and when people ask me, but God creates miracles. Don't you want that miracle to be fully sighted if you could? They ask me, and I say, of course I would like to have 2 eyes instead of 1. Of course, I'm sure my life would be definitely more different, and I'm sure I would be different as a person if that was the case.
Retinitis Pigmentosa has taught me to live in the present, day by day, and showing me how beautiful the life can be when you realize that life is a prize.
After 2021, I then trained for another 3 years, trained really, really hard, and managed to come back from Paris with this beautiful gold medal and 2 world records. And I just couldn't believe that I got a second chance at throwing the javelin and being a para athlete. It was just an incredible experience. So I owe a lot to having RP, and it's made me realize that actually having a condition like that can actually better your life and actually make you have more gratitude for the things that you do with your time.
But my day-to-day is full of gratitude for the sight I have, what I see, the people that are in my team to save my sight, my family, my friends. Just everything is huge. For me, it's all about gratitude. And as long as I have gratitude, I'm kind of always okay. I'm always in a good place.
It's just knowing that you're not alone. Sometimes you just get yourself in a bubble and you think, oh, I've got all these issues, and it's kind of, you feel like you haven't got anyone to sort of vent to sometimes because they won't understand it. So when you've got other people there are like-minded, it's great to have those sort of connections and chats with. So.
And it's just about the attitude and the mindset that you bring to the table. We all have these different cards that we're dealt with, but it's about your attitude, how you're gonna look at it, how you're gonna treat yourself, and how you're gonna treat other people.
And when you're focused on what you're able to do with persistence, resilience, especially to inspire and help others, and be inspired by others as well. In the end of the day, I think Retinitis Pigmentosa has helped me to seek a higher meaning in life. And I think a gift or a course can be a different side of the same coin, and depending on how you look at it.
There's so much that the roads less traveled, if you will, provided for me and other people, and I've never felt like I fit into this world, and now I understand why.
It just gives me a unique perspective, and it's also taught me compassion and empathy, and the ability just to kind of really kind of see things through a different lens, really, and kind of empathize with others that are also currently going through maybe different sort of challenges that they are also going throughout with their life. So that pretty much sums it up.
Now I understand the reasons of how I created my music and why I created my music and why somebody was trying to steer me in a different direction and be like everybody else. And I was like, no, I think I'm supposed to be different. And there's always a good reason to why. And now I know why. And it was because of becoming somebody like this, an advocate for the visually impaired, for the low vision, for the blind community. I've always wanted to be a part of something bigger than myself. And I didn't even know it was this. But I ended up crying tears of happiness when I started singing my song Angel, realizing that I was somebody representing the visually impaired, singing this song, this beautiful song, from my darkness, showing my light. So I think that's important, just to show that we are all the same. Even though our shells are different, we're just, I'm just like you.
So I hope you enjoyed that, and I hope it's left you with a sense of positivity about RP. It's a really tough disease to live with, and losing your sight is something that I'm thankful that not everybody has to go through. But if you do have to go through it, then go through it looking at the positive sides rather than always focusing on negatives.